Once upon a time, beside a dense jungle on the banks of a serene river, stood a giant, ancient banyan tree. Its branches were home to countless birds, and its hollows sheltered hundreds of creatures. One of these birds was a little sparrow named Tuni. One day, a precious grain of food she had found after a long search slipped from her beak and fell deep inside a hollow of that banyan tree. Tuni flew to the tree and politely requested, "O king of trees, my grain has fallen into your hollow. Would you please return it?" But the arrogant tree, rustling its thousands of leaves, let out a cold breeze and laughed. "1,000 birds like you sit on my branches. Why should I disturb my rest for a mere grain? Go on, shoo from here." Tuni was deeply hurt, but she was not one to give up. She thought, what cannot be achieved by force must be achieved with strategy. She flew to the edge of the village, where a skilled sutradhar, carpenter, was busy with his woodwork. Tuni went to him and said, "O Karigar brother, that naughty banyan tree has taken my only grain and won't return it. Would you please just show it the fear of your axe?" The carpenter stopped his work and looked at Tuni. He smiled and said, "Little Tuni, I'm sorry for your trouble, but I cannot cut down such a large and old tree for a single grain. That would be a great sin." Tuni now understood that this wouldn't work either. Her determination grew even stronger. She flew straight towards the state capital. After a long journey, she finally reached the Maharaja's royal court, Darbar. She saw the Maharaja seated on his magnificent throne, Singhasan. Tuni bravely flew and sat before the Maharaja, narrating her entire story of sorrow, the tree's arrogance, and the carpenter's refusal. She pleaded, "Your Majesty, you are the protector of this kingdom. Please command that carpenter to cut the tree and retrieve my grain." The Maharaja was surprised by Tuni's courage, but he smiled and said, "Little bird, your bravery is commendable. But you have come all this way for such a small matter? I cannot punish my subject for such a trivial reason. There are far greater problems in this kingdom." This time, Tuni almost broke down. The king, the subject, the tree, no one was listening to her. She sat in a corner of the court and began to think, "What do I do now?" Just then, her eyes fell upon the Maharaja's favorite, beautifully adorned royal elephant standing in the grand courtyard. The mahout was sitting on its back, and at that moment a brilliant idea sparked in Tuni's mind. She flew directly to the mahout. She narrated her entire story of sorrow to the mahout once again, the tree's arrogance, the carpenter's refusal, and the Maharaja's rejection. Then she said, "Mahout brother, you are my last hope. That tree won't give me my grain, the carpenter won't cut the tree, and the Maharaja won't listen to me. If you would kindly give a little signal to your massive elephant, perhaps it could just walk a little closer to the throne to make the Maharaja understand that when the small are ignored, even the great can face trouble." The mahout was impressed by the bird's extraordinary persistence and intelligence. He thought, "This tiny bird is fighting so hard for its justice. This must be addressed." He went to the Maharaja and told him about Tuni's new plan. The Maharaja was not only ashamed by the bird's relentless will and clever strategy, but he was also impressed. He realized that the issue was not about the grain, it was about justice, nyay. He understood that for a king, even the problem of his smallest subject is important. He immediately summoned the carpenter and ordered him to cut down the tree. When the carpenter approached the banyan tree with his sharp axe, the once arrogant tree began to tremble with fear. It shouted, Wait, Karigar brother, don't cut me down. I am returning the bird's grain right now, this very instant." And that is exactly what happened. The tree pushed the grain out from its hollow. The little bird, through her own intelligence and persistence, regained her lost right without using any force at all. Once upon a time, there was a little sparrow. One day, she lost her grain, and that grain had fallen in a big banyan tree. She went to the tree and asked for her grain back, but the tree refused. The sparrow then went to the carpenter and asked him to cut down the tree, but he refused as well. The sparrow then went to the king and complained, but he too refused to help her. Just when she had lost all hope, she got an idea. She went to the king's elephant and signaled it to go near the king. The king saw how tiny she was and how huge the elephant was, and realized that he should listen to her. He asked the carpenter to cut down the tree, and when the tree was about to be chopped off, it gave back the grain to the sparrow. The little sparrow had won her grain back. Our willpower is our greatest strength. We may be small and weak, but if we try hard enough, no one can stop us from achieving our goals. So never give up, no matter how hard things may seem. With enough determination, you can achieve anything.